Hello, good morning, ladies. How are you? Hope you are doing well. This is an explanation to the open window, a short story written by Saki. But who is Saki? Saki, which means a Saki, is a pen name to a Scottish British writer, a very well known writer, Hector Hugh Monroe. And the pen name, it means اسم مستعار, and he has taken this name from رباعيات عمر الخيام. He is a very famous, well-known a poet, Iranian poet. And Saki, it means Saki, as I said in Arabic, it means the one who is pouring wine in the cups to entertain the customers. So what he wishes, Monroe, he wishes that his stories have the ability to entertain and amuse the readers. Of course, in his dramas, he satirized and mocked his Edwardian society. Now, Edwardian society, Edward is a reference to the King Edward V, because in England they name certain period of time according to the name of the king or the queen. For instance, Elizabethan time, a reference to the Queen Elizabeth; Victorian time, a reference to the Victoria, the Queen Victoria, etc. So let's move before the explanation. Saki or H.H. Monroe was born in Borna. Now it is Panama, and his mom died soon after his birth, and then so he has left to England. His father actually sent him to England to live with his grandmother and aunts. Of course, he and his siblings. He has a brother and sister. Monroe didn't enjoy his stay with his aunts in England, who were incredibly strict and overbearing. That is why his work contained frequent references to spinster and characters often cast as antagonists. This unpleasant experience with his aunts helped him to or broaden his imagination to write such a kind of short stories. Okay, so what is this story is about? Simply, this story is about Mr. Nuttall, Mr. Frampton Nuttall. Frampton Nuttall is a man who has a problem, nervous problem. Sorry. Mr. Nuttall is seeking a nerve cure prescribed by his doctor. Visits a rural life where he knows no one, and his sister provides a letter of introduction so he can meet people there. Now, his sister was living in this area. That is why when the doctor prescribed him to live in a rural life, يعني مناطق ريفية where there is a fresh air, so his sister provided him with a letter of introduction to visit people there. Now, he pays a visit to Mrs. Sableton. While he waits for her coming, her 15-year-old niece keeps him company in the parlor. When she realizes Nuttall, now she asks him, "Do you know my aunt?" He says he never met her aunt or anyone at all. He said, "Hardly soul." She explained that that was a trigger to her imagination to create the first story. We have two different stories in a story within a story. Now, she explained that it has been 3 years since Mrs. Stapleton's great tragedy, when her husband and the brothers went hunting and never returned, presumably engulfed by a bug just like a quicksand. Mrs. Stapleton keeps the large French window open every day, hoping for their return. Now, she is referring to the French window that is open. Now, let us listen and to see how She convinced others by her speech, by her tone, and by her facial expression also.
Meantime, you must try and put up with me.
See, look at her. Now she will...
It is very kind of you to wait with me.
Okay, she will ask him. Listen carefully.
Your aunt, Mrs. Sappleton. I'm looking forward to meeting her, I'm sure.
Do you know many of the people around here?
See?
Hardly a soul, I'm afraid. My sister stayed at the rectory 4 years ago, and she's given me some
So
letters
she
of
will get
introduction.
benefit of this information. Hardly all. He knows no one at all. Now, this is the
Then
first
you know practically
story.
nothing about my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
I know her name and
Now
address.
just imagine, she is addressing a man who has mental stress.
Her great tragedy happened just 3 years ago. That would be after your
No,
sister's
she talks
time.
about the tragedy, which is not a real tragedy, but we as audience or readers also we are deceived by her story. This is an irony, by the way.
You may wonder why we keep these French doors open on such a cold afternoon.
Her story is not only she in her story she doesn't deceive only Mr. Nuttall. She deceives
Out
us
through
as
those
readers.
doors, 3 years ago to a day, my aunt's husband and her 2 sons went off for their day's shooting. They never came back.
Listen to her tone.
Crossing the moor to their favourite snipe shooting ground.
He describes
three
her
are
as a
engulfed in a treacherous
self-possessed
piece of
girl.
wood.
She's the one who controls her
Their bodies were never
imagination.
recovered.
She can fabricate something
That
new.
was the awful part of it.
Okay. So before this one, let us finish with this one. Okay. So anyhow, Vera, as I said, has such a vivid imagination and enjoys weaving stories for her own amusement. She is sitting alone, no one with her, and it seems that even the relationship between her aunt and Vera, the relationship between Vera and her aunt is not that well. She doesn't care about her. Mr. Sappleton, she doesn't care. Vera calmly explained that he was probably frightened by the hunter's dog. She claims that Nuttall told her, this is another story, she claims that Nuttall told her he was once chased into cemetery in India and held at bay by a pack of aggressive dogs. Let us listen to her explanation, how she convinced them. Okay, just a minute, sorry. This is when he okay, let's see this one. Okay, sorry. This is when he grabs his stick and run away. And this is her second fabricated story.
He was once hunted into a cemetery on the banks of the Ganges by a pack of pariah dogs and had to spend the night in a newly dug grave with the creatures. He was once hunted into a cemetery on the banks of the Ganges by a pack of pariah dogs and had to spend the night in a newly dug grave with the creatures snarling and grinning and foaming just above him.
See,
Enough to make anyone lose their nerve, I dare say.
see, she deceives us also. She doesn't deceive only Mr. Nuttall. She deceives us also. Anyhow, now what are the literary devices used in this short story? We have irony. The most obvious literary device is irony. What is irony? Irony is a literary technique in which what is written or stated is different from or the opposite of what is expected. We have different kinds of irony: verbal irony, Verbal irony, it means when a person says the opposite of what they mean. For instance, when Mrs. Sableton enters and she says to Mr. Nuttall, she asks him, I hope Vera has been amusing you. Of course, she hasn't amusing him. She terrified him. But he said what? Sorry, he has been very interesting, which is totally wrong. This is a verbal irony. He says something which is opposite of what he says. Okay. The other irony is situational irony. Situational irony here, it means or occurs when something happens that is completely different from what was expected. Usually these instances incorporate some types of contradiction and a certain level of surprise or shock. We are surprised also now in situational irony here in our play. For instance, we think that really there is a tragedy, and really that woman is insane, Mrs. Sableton, insane. She is totally crazy because she thinks that the dead will return back. We expect that, but at the end we are shocked and surprised by their own coming. Okay, and the whole story is built on situational irony. Now the reader, we as readers, just like Mr. Nuttall, believes in Vera's story till the end, and the reader, we, is misled, deceived. He doesn't know, as a reader, doesn't know what has actually happened until the end. The situation becomes ironical in retrospect when the reader actually understood what has really happened. Okay, ladies, hope you did understand the whole short story. Now, if I ask you about the climax, what is the climax? Climax is, the highest point in the action or the events of the story. Climax as the sun begins setting. When the three figures walk across the lawn and can be seen from the window. This is the climax, because Mr. Frampton thinks that he has seen, because he has mental problem also, he has seen ghosts. That is why he ran away immediately. And resolution Frampton, what has happened, the conclusion that you say, frightened, Frampton frightened upon realizing that the figures are the ghosts of Sableton, he thinks that they are the ghosts. He grabs his things and leaves the house to escape the assumed ghosts. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed reading and watching this short story. Bless you.